So hi again everyone. Today I'll be talking about why you don't trust yourself and the habits that have helped you get to that point where you don't trust yourself and your own decisions. So I'm going to be talking about social media and social media's influence on making your own decisions. So I've got some notes here that we're gonna look at and cover. So one thing that I'm going to mention is that with social media, we tend to see people oversharing every single detail about their life. And as consumers, we pick that up and then we also become easily influenced by people's oversharing. So, for example, let's talk about how social media can influence our body image, our mental health, and make you think that you've got this and that, and influence body dysmorphia, for example, like serious body dysmorphia. So you see somebody sharing their story about getting a nose job, and your whole life you've never ever had an issue with your nose, but because you've liked one video on social media about someone's story about getting a nose job, it's all popping up all over your social media, and you're just there helplessly doom scrolling, and you think, oh my days, I need to get my nose done. It's popping up everywhere. My nose is a bit crooked. I need to get my nose done. Do you see the trap there? You can easily get influenced by other people's stories and the decisions that they make. Next thing you know, you're looking at somebody's something else, and you get into your head and you're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, oh no, and you're getting obsessed until you finally make that move and actually get that procedure done, when your whole life you never had an issue with that. And that feeds into not trusting yourself and trusting that you don't actually have an issue with what you look like. I think it's quite a complex topic, just because you can't always control what you're going to see on social media, but then that's also a reason why we should be filtering out what we are feeding into our brains, because you are basically what you consume. So your mind thinks about the things that you are constantly seeing or you are constantly around. So we need to be more intentional about what we are consuming. Do you know what I mean? So instead of going onto YouTube and watching something that's just completely just somebody else's life, and you watch other people's lives all the time, or different there's nothing wrong with looks maxing. I don't think there's anything wrong with looks maxing. You can looks max, but when it starts to become an obsession, and when that's constantly what's on your feed and you're not feeding anything else progressive into your mind, you're going to get sucked into that vacuum, and you will be influenced. You won't trust yourself, and in your own beauty you won't think, oh, I'm beautiful, because you're always comparing yourself. And also another thing that follows on from that is, if you've got nothing done, stop comparing yourself to people that have their whole face done. You know, I saw a podcast, and it was talking about all these handsome Squidwards, because everyone's got like the filler, the jaw, the cheeks, and it's all like, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go do that. But if you've not got any procedures done and you're thinking, oh, I'm not beautiful because I don't look like the handsome Squidwards, then there's an issue there, because you can't compare a natural looking face to something that is not natural, and procedures have been done to that face. So when people are falling into that, because even men fall into that these days, there's loads of procedures that men can get done, and it's all influenced by social media, because we have a constant access to other people's lives, other people's experiences, which can be used for the better. I'm trying to be a bit positive about this but it also, there's a detriment there that we forget and we don't always realise, because we're just helplessly doom scrolling. Another point that I wanted to mention is, I've shared part of my experience. I think I I went to university when I was pregnant. So I was pregnant, and then I started my first year of law. It wasn't easy, but I can share that story. But what I'm not going to tell you to do is, if you are in the same circumstance, to go and start university, because it was not easy, and not everybody is strong enough to do that. And I'm not saying I'm the strongest in the world and trying to toot my own horn, but I've gone through a lot to give me that mental resilience. So I knew that I could do that, but other people couldn't do that, and I wouldn't advise everyone to go and do that, because not everyone is in the same boat and has had the same life experiences. So me sharing that story is more of a, like, this is what you could do, but you don't have to do it, and you might not be able to do it. I managed to finish with the first class, thanks to God, but other people may not have even made it through. They might have dropped out. They might have, you know, there's people that were on my course that weren't pregnant and didn't have a newborn and a toddler throughout the course, and they still dropped out and they still failed. So you just have to build that mental resilience and that discipline. So I just wanted to say that when you are going online and you are on social media, you need to really be strong in who you are and what you stand for, and be conscious about what you are consuming. And if you are getting them thoughts about other people's experiences and stories, you need to start filtering them out and saying, do you know what, I don't actually have an issue with my nose or my hair or my face or my my relationship. A lot of people make decisions on about their relationships based on other people's relationships, but people are not online sharing the bad about their relationship. And even in general, people, they talk about the good things, but then when you go to your friends and you're talking with your friends, you normally talk about the bad things about the relationship. You never really talk about the good things, because it's almost like you're bragging. So you just need to really be careful that you're not making big life decisions based on online from somebody else's story that you've never even met, and you don't even know the full timeline of their story. So just be careful with that. And I hope there was some food for thought in that video that I've just done now. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for actually watching the video. Please like, subscribe and share. So yeah, see you later guys.